Truth be told, trying to measure the fortune of the richest family in the United Arab Emirates in mere dollars is like trying to measure the ocean with a teacup. It completely misses the point. To put it in perspective, the family's private, collective fortune is estimated to be a mind-boggling $300 billion. That number alone makes them the wealthiest single family on the planet, comfortably ahead of the Waltons of Walmart fame. But here's the kicker, the part that truly boggles the mind. That $300 billion is just the tip of a colossal financial iceberg. It's their personal stash. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an update. The true, almost terrifying scale of their power lies in their ironclad control over a labyrinth of sovereign wealth funds that command an estimated $1.7 trillion in assets under management. Let that number sink in. It's more than the market value of Amazon, the entire economy of Australia or Spain. And this financial juggernaut is only growing, with projections that it will swell to an almost incomprehensible $3.4 trillion by 2030. This is the story of the ruling family of Abu Dhabi and the United Arab Emirates, a dynasty that has masterfully transformed a stretch of arid, sun-scorched desert into a global nexus of finance, culture, and power. They preside over Abu Dhabi, a city aptly dubbed the capital of capital, a place where the lines between state, corporation, and royal family have been deliberately blurred into a single, formidable, and impenetrably powerful entity. Imagine if the President of the United States was also the CEO of a company bigger than Apple and the director of the CIA. And you start to get a sense of how things work here. At its helm is Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, known to the world simply as MBZ, the current president of the UAE, and the strategic architect of the family's hyper-modern, globe-spanning ambitions. Let's be clear, the Al Nahyan are not simply rich, they are a geopolitical phenomenon. Unlike corporate billionaires whose influence is primarily economic, the Al Nahyan dynasty wields a power that is simultaneously financial, political, diplomatic, and military. Key family members occupy the highest echelons of government, from the presidency to the national security apparatus, meaning an investment decision can be, all at once, a profit-seeking venture, a diplomatic overture, and a national security imperative. Their wealth is not a static measure of assets, but a dynamic, fluid, and ruthlessly effective instrument of statecraft. At the end of the day, this is a narrative of how a single family's fortune became so inextricably fused with a nation's destiny that it created a power structure utterly unparalleled in the 21st century. It is a journey into their dramatic history, their key power players, their sprawling financial empire, and the almost unimaginable luxuries that are but the most visible, glittering symbols of their absolute dominion. The story of the Al Nahyan family is nothing short of a modern epic, a dramatic ascent from the harsh simplicity of Bedouin life to the very pinnacle of global influence. Their journey is not just one of staggering wealth accumulation, but of brilliant strategic consolidation, visionary leadership, and the profound, lightning-fast transformation of a nation. To understand the sophisticated, hyper-modern entity they are today, you have to look back to their deep roots in the Arabian Peninsula and the turbulent history that forged their destiny. The lineage of the Al Nahyan dynasty traces back to the Bani, a powerful tribal confederation that for centuries dominated the vast, unforgiving deserts of what is now the UAE. Before the age of oil, life here was incredibly tough. The family, a branch of the House of Al-Falahi clan, lived a nomadic existence in the sprawling Liwa oasis, their lives dictated by the harsh rhythms of the desert, grueling pearl diving expeditions in the sweltering Gulf, date farming, and camel herding. For generations, this was their world. Then, believe it or not, in 1761, a hunting party discovered a freshwater spring on a coastal island. That simple discovery of drinking water prompted a gradual migration, and by 1793, under the leadership of Sheikh Shakbut bin Diyab al-Nahyan, the tribe had established a new center of power in a small fishing village they called Abu Dhabi, meaning father of the gazelle. Interestingly enough, this tribal heritage connects them directly to the rulers of their glamorous neighboring emirate, Dubai. The Al Maktoum family, who rule Dubai, descend from the House of Al-Falasi, another powerful branch of the very same Bani tribe. This makes the two dominant royal families of the UAE distant kin, sharing a common ancestry forged in the crucible of the Arabian desert. This shared heritage laid a foundation of familiarity and potential alliance that would prove absolutely crucial centuries later in the formation of the modern state. However, the early history of Al Nahyan rule in Abu Dhabi was a far cry from the stable, centralized authority we see today. It was a period marked by intense, often brutal internal politics and violent power struggles. The historical record reveals a volatile, almost chaotic pattern of succession, a stark contrast to the seamless transitions of the modern era. Between 1793 and the mid-20th century, the family's leadership was forged in conflict. 5 rulers were overthrown in coups and a shocking 8 were killed, often by their own brothers or cousins. One ruler, Sheikh Hamdan bin Zayed, was assassinated in 1922. His successor, his brother Sheikh Sultan, ruled for 4 years before he too was killed in 1926 by another brother, Sheikh Sakr. Sheikh Sakr lasted just 2 years before he was also assassinated. This long and bloody history of internal conflict underscores the immense challenges of decentralized power and the fierce competition that raged among ambitious family members. The modern structure of the Al Nahyan dynasty, with its crystal-clear hierarchy and the deliberate concentration of power within a trusted inner circle of brothers, can be understood as a direct and calculated response to this turbulent past. The family's fanatical emphasis on unity and the seamless integration of family and state is not merely a feature of their modern governance. It is a foundational strategy designed to prevent the fragmentation and internecine conflict that once defined their history. The pivotal figure who single-handedly steered the family and the nation away from this violent past and toward a new gilded destiny was Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. Born in 1918, he spent his youth in the oasis city of Al Ain, where he learned the ways of the desert and developed a deep connection with the local tribes. For 20 years, he governed Al Ain, earning a reputation for being wise, generous, and forward-thinking. All this time, his older brother, Sheikh Shakbut bin Sultan Al Nahyan, was the ruler of Abu Dhabi. The first oil exports began in 1962, and suddenly the emirate was flush with cash. But Sheikh Shakbut was deeply conservative and famously frugal, refusing to spend the new revenues on development. He reportedly kept the money in cash under his bed and was skeptical of building roads, schools, or hospitals. By 1966, the family had seen enough. In a bloodless, family-endorsed coup supported by the British, Sheikh Zayed was brought from Al Ain to become the new ruler. His reign marked a fundamental, world-altering turning point. Sheikh Zayed understood with a clarity his peers lacked that the future security and prosperity of the disparate coastal sheikdoms lay in unity. When the British announced their withdrawal, he became the relentless driving force behind the formation of a federation. On December 2, 1971, he united the 7 emirates, becoming the first president of the newly formed United Arab Emirates, a position he held with immense popular support until his death in 2004. The oil boom irrevocably reshaped the fortunes of the family. As the rulers of Abu Dhabi, which holds over 90% of the UAE's oil reserves, the family became the stewards of an almost unimaginable river of black gold. This breathtaking transformation, from sleepy fishing villages into a global financial powerhouse within a single generation, is the very bedrock upon which the modern Al Nahyan dynasty was built. It all began with a strong foundation, one built by Sheikh Zayed, the founder of the United Arab Emirates. His legacy laid the path, but it's his sons who turned that path into a global empire. They aren't just wealthy men running a country, they're powerful players in a worldwide game. And each one has a very specific role. Like pieces on a chessboard, they move with purpose, working together with careful strategy. At the very top of this powerful family is Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, or MBZ as many people know him. He's not just the president of the UAE, he's the mastermind. MBZ leads the family like a true head of state. He's met with world leaders, crafted major peace deals like the Abraham Accords, and flies in his own custom Boeing 747 and 787. He doesn't just act like a world power, he is one. Now, while MBZ is out front shaking hands and building peace, there's someone else doing just as much work behind the curtain. That person is his brother, Sheikh Tahnoun. He's not flashy, but he might be even more powerful than MBZ in a different way. He runs the country's national security, which means he oversees intelligence, surveillance, and military strategy. But that's only half of it. Sheikh Tahnoun also runs some of the biggest financial groups in the UAE. That includes the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, Royal Group, International Holding Company, and the cutting-edge tech group G42. These aren't small companies, they control assets that might be worth as much as $1.5 trillion. In short, he's both the money and the muscle, running the kind of empire most people couldn't even imagine. While Sheikh Tahnoun works in the shadows, their brother Sheikh Mansour has taken a very different path, one that puts him in the spotlight. You might know him from the world of soccer. In 2008, he bought Manchester City, a team that wasn't winning much at the time. But under his leadership, they became one of the strongest clubs in the world. It wasn't just about sports, it was about branding. Thanks to Mansour, the name Abu Dhabi is now tied to global success and ambition. He didn't stop there. He created the City Football Group, which owns teams around the world, and he invested in bold projects like Virgin Galactic. Oh, and he also owns one of the largest and most luxurious yachts on Earth. Wherever you look, Mansour's name is attached to style, power, and global influence. Of course, not every member of the family fits neatly into those high-powered roles. One of the most colorful and unforgettable brothers is Sheikh Hamad, known around the world as the Rainbow Sheikh. He's not focused on politics or business. Instead, he's become famous for one of the strangest and most fascinating car collections on the planet. His private museum, shaped like a giant pyramid in the middle of the desert, houses vehicles that look like they're straight out of a dream or maybe a cartoon. There's a two-story SUV, a house-sized Hummer, and a giant Dodge truck that looks like it could crush a house. He also drives 7 Mercedes cars, each painted a different color of the rainbow. It's wild, fun, and totally unique. But more than that, it shows just how much wealth the family really has. When you can build your dream car collection and then build a museum just to show it off, that says something. Behind all this power and personality, there's something even bigger that holds it all together. Money. Not just regular money, giant, world-changing money. The Al Nahyan family controls a system of wealth that's unlike almost anything else on Earth. It's split into 2 parts. One is slow and steady like a mountain. The other is fast and flexible like a sports car. And together they give the family an advantage few can beat. The first part includes the massive sovereign wealth funds. These are the official state-run investment groups that manage the country's oil money. The biggest one is the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, or ADIA. Started in 1976, it now manages more than $1 trillion. It's run by Sheikh Tahnoun and helps make sure that the country stays rich long after the oil is gone. It's not about short-term wins, it's about keeping the UAE strong for future generations. Then there's Mubadala, another major player. Mubadala doesn't just hold money, it invests in future technology and new industries. It owns a top semiconductor company called Global Foundries and supports G42, the UAE's big push into artificial intelligence. So while ADIA is about saving and growing, Mubadala is about building and shaping the future. But Sheikh Tahnoun doesn't stop with the government's money. He also runs private companies that act faster and take bigger risks. One of these is the Royal Group, which handles the family's personal business empire. It's estimated to be worth nearly $300 billion. Then there's International Holding Company, or IHC. Under Tahnoun's control, IHC didn't just grow, it exploded. Its value rose by 42,000%, making it the most valuable public company in the Middle East. That kind of growth is rare. Actually, it's almost unheard of. And finally, we come back to G42. This is the jewel in the crown of the family's tech dreams. G42 isn't just a company, it's a mission. Its goal is to make the UAE a leader in artificial intelligence, one of the most important industries of the future. It already works with Microsoft and OpenAI, which shows just how serious it is. G42 isn't a side project. It's a bold move to put the country at the front of the global tech race. What makes the Al Nahyan family so unique is how all these parts come together. They have the calm, steady force of a government and the bold, risky power of private investors. That mix gives them tools that most people and even most countries don't have. Whether it's sport, a tech, intelligence, or soft power, they're not just playing the game, they're changing it. And as the world keeps shifting, one thing is clear. This family isn't done yet. They've already reshaped what power looks like in the 21st century. But with the tools, talent, and ambition they've shown, their next move could be even bigger. Let's talk about what happens when a family has so much money it stops being just numbers on a page and becomes real, solid stuff you can actually see. The immense, almost abstract wealth of the Al Nahyan dynasty manifests in a breathtaking, globe-spanning collection of physical assets. We're talking about palaces of staggering scale, fleets of private jets and super yachts, and a real estate empire that makes them landlords to the global elite. This is where stupidly expensive becomes a dazzling, blinding reality. Their kingdom's crown jewel is Qasr Al-Watan, the presidential palace of the UAE. Completed for an estimated $500 million, this isn't just a home. It's a working palace and a cultural landmark of unbelievable opulence. The Great Hall is topped by one of the world's largest domes, and hanging beneath it is a spectacular chandelier dripping with 350,000 individual pieces of crystal. But their power isn't just confined to their home turf. Believe it or not, the family has also quietly become one of London's biggest landowners, with a property empire worth over $7 billion. We're not just talking about a few fancy houses. They own some of the city's most famous addresses, like the entirety of Berkeley Square in Mayfair and the ultra-exclusive 1 Kensington Gardens residential block. When a family is incredibly wealthy, they don't use regular boats for their vacations. Instead, they travel on the ocean in gigantic, fancy ships called superyachts. This family has its own fleet of some of the biggest and most modern superyachts in the world. These ships are more like private kingdoms on the water. For a long time, the most famous of these ships has been the Azam. At an amazing 180 meters long, it holds the record for the longest private yacht ever built. To picture how long that is, imagine almost 2 football fields placed end to end. The Azam cost more than $600 million to build, but it's more than just a big boat. It is also designed like a fortress to be extremely safe. There are rumors that it has its own system to stop missiles, and even a small submarine for secret underwater escapes. This makes it one of the most protected and mysterious ships on the sea. The family's collection also includes a newer super yacht named Blue, which is owned by Sheikh Mansour. It was finished in 2022 and also cost about $600 million. While a little shorter than Azam at 160 meters, Blue is a true floating palace designed for luxury and fun. It has 24 beautiful guest suites, so plenty of friends can stay on board. The Blue has 2 helipads, which are landing spots for helicopters, making it easy for guests to arrive. For fun in the sun, it has a huge swimming platform at the back that opens up to a beach club area right by the water. Inside, it even has its own dance floor for parties. For this family, sailing on the ocean isn't just a trip. It's about traveling in ultimate style and comfort, surrounded by more luxury than most people can imagine. These super yachts show that when you have enormous wealth, even the sea can become your private playground. But even the world's biggest yachts can feel a bit slow when you practically own the planet. For that, you need your own private airline. For air travel, the family uses the presidential flight, a VVIP airline operated just for them. This isn't 1 or 2 private jets. It's a whole fleet of at least 8 state-of-the-art, custom-built aircraft, including multiple Boeing 787 Dreamliners and a giant Boeing 747. To be clear, these are flying palaces. They are kitted out with full boardrooms for meetings in the sky, private master suites with king-sized beds, marble bathrooms with full showers, and advanced anti-missile systems to ensure total security. So when you look at all of this, the palaces, the mansions, the giant yachts, The flying command centers? It's more than just a collection of expensive toys. The House of Nahyan has performed a breathtaking transformation from a local tribe into a global dynasty. They use their oil money not just for luxury, but as the starting cash for a mind-bogglingly complex global empire. These tangible assets are the physical proof of a power that is absolute and a reach that is truly global. They are the symbols of a kingdom built not on old land alone, but on sharp thinking and a relentless, unyielding ambition. At the end of the day, the enduring legacy of the House of Nahyan will be this incredible story of success. The creation of a dynasty whose power, born in the desert, is now so deeply woven into the fabric of the world that its influence will be felt for generations to come. Is the Al Nahyan Empire an inspiring blueprint for success, or a startling symptom of a broken system? Let us know your thoughts below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. If you like this, feel free to check out more videos on our channel.